Hello everybody and welcome back to more Let's Play Star Trek Online. This is the Doctor and today I have a very special ship to show you once again. This is an Undine ship from the Undine lockbox. Once again, thank you to MC Rudolph for giving me this ship and allowing me to review it. Otherwise, I would not be able to show it to you today. I just do not have the resources lately to get ships that I want, especially out of lockboxes. I've never ever been lucky at getting a ship out of a lockbox. And in the exchange, as you know, they are lots and lots of energy credits. So I have the Nicor Undine Bio-Warship. And somebody mentioned in the comments a great way to allow you guys to see what I'm talking about while I'm reading it is to actually go to the exchange, right-click the box, and let you view it as well. I'm going to turn down the ambient volume a bit because the exchange volume in here is very loud. Okay, so we'll search the Nicor, and here you go. The cheapest you can buy it in the exchange is $126 million. And as you can see, I'm nowhere near have enough energy credits for that. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to leave this up, and I'm going to start reading off things about the Nicor Bio-Warship. When I get to the stats, I will scroll down and let you read the stats. You can pause the video and read this item information as well, and that'll give you some more information about it also. Okay, so bear with me as I read through. I've got 3 pages on my other screen here of information that I want to read you about this Bio-Warship before we go and actually look at it. So if you want to stay tuned for all that information, here you go. If you want to skip forward straight to where I'm going to go talking about the ship or whatever, I guess I'll put a link in there for that. But for those that want to stick around, I appreciate it. Okay, this came out with the Undine lockbox, and this was back in April of 2014. And specifically, if you want to go look up this information yourself, it is Season 9, Devblog 18 and 19 I'm reading this from. So Season 9 is when these Undine ships were released. Alright, here we go. Undine Bio-Warships are a complicated combination of organic tissue engineered and grown for their specific purpose of serving as warships for the Undine fleet. Although originally designed to be manned and flown by as little as single Undine pilot, the internal systems of every bioship available for use by Alpha Quadrant species have undergone extensive modifications. While these modifications have made larger crew complements a necessity, they have also done away with the need for the ship's pilot to have powerful psionic abilities, or for the interior of the vessel to be flooded with bioplasma, thus allowing even humans, Klingons, and Romulans to fly these organic starships. Scroll down so you can read the rest of that. The Nicor Bio-Warship accounts for the bulk of the Undine fleet, offering good maneuverability and versatility while offering plenty of heavy firepower relative to their size. So they call this a Bio-Warship. I've also seen it called a cruiser, a Nicor cruiser in other references when I was reading earlier today. So I don't know if I would consider it a cruiser. I really don't, because I believe it's more of a tactical ship, more of an escort type ship, and you'll see that in as we go through the rest of this. Nicor Bio-Warships are equipped with a console universal fluidic energy focusing array. This series of high-capacity energy conduits is specifically designed to intake energy from other Undine bioship, amplify it, and then release it at a target ship or planetoid. The resulting blast can be made strong enough to destroy entire planets under the right circumstances, but is more frequently used as an artillery strike against spacebound enemies. So here are all the stats on it. We'll go over all of them now. Hull strength, 34,500. So it is, to me, more of an escort because it has a lower hull strength than you would get on a cruiser or even a science vessel. Shield modifier is only 1.0. Again, that's what you would expect out of a cruiser. Crew of 250. That's a bit high for, I guess, a cruiser. I keep saying cruiser. I mean escort. However, maybe it's not. 444 aft, so pretty good weapon layout. 3 device slots, 1 commander tactical, so this is what really leads me to believe this is a tactical ship or an escort ship. It has a commander tactical bridge officer station, so that's going to allow you to use your tactical abilities to the best of their ability on a tactical character. 1 lieutenant engineering, 1 lieutenant commander science, and 1 lieutenant commander universal. 5 tactical console modifications, so again, this leans toward being a tactical escort. 2 engineering, not a cruiser at all. 3 science. 14 degrees per second, turns very fast. 0.2 impulse modifier, plus 10 weapon power and engine power. This is totally an escort, totally a tactical ship after reading all those specs. Can equip dual cannons, which I have learned. Thank you very much for all the feedback and comments. Dual cannons also mean dual heavy cannons. They're just not very specific about it in these descriptions because dual cannons do exist and also dual heavy cannons exist. So when they put that in there that a ship can equip dual heavy cannons, I guess they assume that it goes without saying it can also equip dual heavy cannons. But I think that they need to clarify that a little bit more. That it should say dual and dual heavy cannons, in my opinion, just to be a little more clear. Alright, and the console universal fluidic energy focusing array, which we just talked about, and I'm going to demonstrate in this video how that works. And improved hull regeneration. This ship has improved hull regeneration because it's an Undine organic ship. The Undine are all about organic technology. If you're familiar with Babylon 5, the series, great series by the way, if you haven't seen it, you must. There are species in there, actually the higher species above humans, who have licked organic technology, and that is the epitome of technology in Babylon 5, is organic technology. The Vorlons use it, the Shadows use it. So very good stuff in that series, and in Star Trek, this is their take on organic technology. You'll also see organic technology in, I can't believe I forgot, Farscape. Duh. Obviously, Moya is an organic ship. They are birthed, actually, and they are organic ships. So, organic technology is another Gene Roddenberry written series, Andromeda, had organic ships. Not Andromeda, excuse me, take that back. I want to say Earth Final Conflict. I'm not sure if Andromeda actually ever had organic ships, I don't recall, but I can definitely say Earth Final Conflict definitely had organic ships. The Talon's ships were basically organic, and other species as well. So organic is a theme in sci-fi, and the Star Trek's take on it is the Undine. And they are more advanced than even the Borg. I mean, they were giving the Borg a run for their money until Voyager came along and helped the Borg, devise a defense against them. But until then, they were even giving the Borg a run for their money. So, yeah, organic, Undine, very cool stuff. All right, I'm going to continue reading now from more of the dev blog. There is also a Domias biocruiser. I don't have that ship. I wish I did. When I get it, I'll do it. So let's read a little bit more about this organic technology. Self-healing hulls. The organic nature of Undine bioships allows their hull to passively regenerate at a higher rate than most starships can be repaired. This increased regenerative capacity offers even more durability to those already formidable vessels. Fluidic console set bonus. Equipping both the fluidic conduit projector, which is from the Domias, which I don't have, and the fluidic energy focusing array from the Nicor, those consoles will grant your Undine vessel the ability to negate the weapon power cost associated with firing the focused fluidic beam. Without this bonus, activating this powerful beam will drain 50 weapon power from your vessel. So using the focused beam is very cool. It drains a lot of power. I haven't really noticed that to be an issue. But if I had the Domias, and I also had the console from it, which is that fluidic conduit projector, I would then get the bonus that it would not drain power when I use that weapon. So there's an option if you have both Undine ships on a character, which I do not have. Now I'm going to switch to devblog number 19. This says, this just gives some background in the Undine. This is kind of lengthy, so stay with me. If you want to skip forward, again, I have that button earlier in the video. I'll put in there so you can skip forward. But I recommend listening to this to get all the information about these ships and what they're all about. Because that's, to me, that's very important. I want to know the history. I want to know what the role is for these ships and what they're meant to do and be. And I just love all this information anyway. When first encountered in the Delta Quadrant, the Undine, known then by the Borg designation species 8472, were already embroiled in a war with the Collective, which was sparked by a Borg invasion of the alternate dimension known as fluidic space. The Undine's strange organic bioships were capable of destroying entire planets, giving them power which outmatched even the Borg. Just a side note, totally Vorlon. If you've seen, again, Babylon 5, the Undine to me are like the Vorlon. The Vorlons have planet killers, and in fact that was I guess I shouldn't say that, because if you haven't seen the series, not that, but what I was fixing to say, I guess I'm not going to say, because that would be a little bit of a spoiler. But I will just say the Vorlons have planet killers, much like the Undine have planet killers. Faced with destruction, the crew of the USS Voyager was forced to make a temporary alliance with the Collective just to survive. Voyager's crew encountered the Undine again in their travels across the Delta Quadrant and found them to be a relentless foe. The Undine's dedication to the eradication of the weak led them to wage a violent crusade, and they even developed a form of genetic shape-shifting through the use of isomorphic injections that allowed them to infiltrate the society of other species outside fluidic space. Catherine Janeway attempted to reach a peaceful agreement with the Undine, but only a small faction of the species agreed to her proposal. The majority of the Undine fought back against other incursions of fluidic space, eventually seeing all outsiders as a threat to their home and security. Their shape-shifting agents infiltrated all the powers of the Alpha and Beta quadrants, pushing conflicts intended to keep the powers focused on battling one another and leaving the Undine free to pursue their xenophobic agenda. Through the actions of brave captains from the Klingon Empire, the Federation, and the Romulan Republic, the Undine have been exposed, and a new united effort is working to drive them back into fluidic space. We have been itching to revisit, and this is coming from Cryptic, we have been itching to revisit the Undine threat for a long time in Star Trek Online. The overt xenophobic nature of Species 8472, coupled with their truly alien physiology and psychology, has always shown great potential for bringing new and unique storylines, mechanics, and artwork into the game. We're thrilled that Season 9, A New Accord, is granting us the opportunity to explore the legacy of Species 8472 in detail. So these were obviously, this was a big part of Season 9. The Undine Lockbox will offer players the opportunity to pilot their own Nicor Bio-Warship, which we're looking at today. The same ship seen flown by a single physically gifted Undine requires a small crew of Alpha Quadrant species in order to operate it at full efficiency. Once properly refitted to be compatible with technology from outside fluidic space, the Bio-Warship is ready to be flown into combat against aggressive Undine invaders or any other threat to our dimension. Again, talking about the fluidic focusing array, this series of high-capacity energy conduits is specifically designed to intake energy from other Undine bioships, amplify it, and release it at a target or planetoid. The resulting blast can be made strong enough to destroy entire planets under the right circumstances, but it's more frequently used against spacebound enemies. Scientists from the Alpha Quadrant have learned how to tune the focusing array to emit a communication pulse that pierces the barrier to fluidic space. Bioships that hear this pulse will quickly join your ship in battle and channel their energy into the focusing ray before it is released into a massive blast. The summoned ships will immediately return to fluidic space afterwards. So that gives you a lot of information about how the focusing array is used on this ship. Okay, for those just joining us, I have gone over all the specifications of the ship already, and to those who listen to all of that reading and commentary, I very much appreciate it. Now we're going to take a look at the Nicor Bio-Ship. In my inventory, we're going to go straight to it, look at the specifications, and see how I have equipped it. Before we do that, really quick, I am on my primary tactical character. This is the Valiant Doctor. Technically, his storyline when I created this character many years ago, because at the time this was a big thing in Doctor Who, he is the Doctor that was during the Time War. Now, at that time when I created the character, we didn't know which Doctor that was, and we didn't know anything about that. Now we actually know which Doctor was in the Time War, but when I created this character, I did not. So I guess I could probably change his name or his designation or whatever, but he is the Valiant Doctor because he is the Time War Doctor. Anyway, he's a tactical character. He is fully loaded. I have tier 5 in every reputation on him, and he is the 3rd character I ever created in the game. And he is equipped mainly with phasers, is how I made him. He flew all escorts, leveling up in his career, and he is built for cannons, dual heavy cannons and phasers, specifically because before this ship I was using the Andorian Kumari class ships, and that's what I rocked on him, and so I used the Andorian phasers. So just keep that in mind. That's the build. I will show you the reputation real quick. I have finished all tier 5 reputations, so I have the ability to get all the gear for him. Now, let me also say, my primary goal when creating the Nicor Bio-Ship here is that I wanted a fully counter-command geared ship. I feel that to get the best out of the Undine ship, you need to use the counter-command gear, and that means all of the space gear available, so that we can get all of the set bonuses from the shield, the deflector, the engine, the console sets, everything. Of course, you could go a Dyson Joint Command set, you could go Borg set, all that stuff, but I felt, let's do counter command on this ship, and let's show this ship in its absolute best Undine native abilities and its best ability to also fight and take down the Undine, and that is using all of the counter command gear. This also means this is the first video where I am using all of the counter command space gear, and I mean all of it. I have every bit of it, and this is the first time. This is also why it is taking me a long time to get to the Nicor Bio-Warship, is because I have had to level up in counter command to tier 5 and grind to get all of the gear, and that's taken a while, but now I can fully show you all tier 5 counter command abilities. I also have the space ability. This is important because I have this enabled on my Nicor Bio-Warship, and I want you guys to see this in action. And actually, it's kind of broken, and I'll go over that in a little bit. But this is a biomolecular shield. No, this one's not broken. Excuse me. There's another feature that's broken. This is the biomolecular shield generator. This creates a fixed position shield generator in space combat, and it regenerates starship shields and reduces the damage taken by starship shields for allies in the immediate area. So this kind of basically drops a fixed shield in space, and if you're in that bubble, you'll get increased shield regeneration, I can't think, and reduces damage to shields as well by 22% if you're inside that bubble. And that one does work, and I have that enabled. Alright, so if we go to Counter Command and you go to Space Gear, this is all the space gear which I do have. I've got the Universal Hydrodynamics Compensator. I've got the Counter Command Covariant Shield. It is a covariant shield, so it's pretty powerful for an escort type ship. As you can see, it's got a pretty high shield capacity native to it, and so that's pretty good. I've got a Counter Command Deflector. I've got the Counter Command Hyper Impulse. And I've got the Counter Command Hyper Injection Warp Core. That's right, there is a warp core specific to Counter Command reputation. That's on this ship. I have the Enhanced Biomolecular Photon Torpedo, which I love. I know in past videos I was curious about it. I love this torpedo now. I also have the Heavy Biomolecular Disruptor Turret, and I'm using the phaser version. You have a choice. You can use phaser or disruptor. And remember, I just said my character is built for phasers. So I'm using the phaser version because that fits best for my character. And that's it. That's all the space stuff. But I have all of it. I also have, and you'll need to grab this if you want every bit of Counter Command, Undine, whatever stuff. You need to go to the last mission they just released called Surface Tension. And if you haven't played this, you need to, and or if you have and you didn't get this item, you need to replay this mission, and you need to get this console called Console Tactical Counter Command Multi-Conduit Energy Relay. It is part of a 4-piece set that is called the Counter Command Ordnance. So if you want that whole 4-piece set, this is one of those 4 pieces, and you have to get it from the mission Surface Tension. And I did not know that at first, and I was looking all around for this thing, and I could not find it. I actually had to ask, where is this console? And it is indeed in the actual mission Surface Tension, but it's free. You don't have to grind. You just have to go play the mission, and you can get the console as a reward. So at least that's easy to get. And it has features too. As you can see, it increases phaser damage, it increases disruptor damage, so that gives you a choice. Do you want to use phasers or disruptors? But it increases that damage flat out by having this console on there. It also increases radiation damage. Now that's important because some of the features I'm using with these with all these gear sets is that they do radiation damage. They do blasts and things that do radiation damage. So that's actually important and beneficial. And then it also increases my photon projectile weapon damage. The photon biomolecular thing I'm using gets increased from this. But as you can see, it's part of a 4-piece set that requires the biomolecular photon torpedo. Check, I have that. It requires the heavy biomolecular disruptor turret. Check, I have that. It requires the hydrodynamic compensator console from the Reputation space gear. Check, I have that. And then this console. And all 4 of that, you get it. There's a set 2, set 3, and set 4 bonus. So I have all of that now. Oh yes, I've got all of it. It is totally freaking epic. So let's go straight to it. This is my War TARDIS. Undine Nicor Bio-Warship NX 99999999999. Alright, so as you can see, I have gone with phasers. And that is because, as I said again, this character was built to use phasers because he was using Andorian ship before this. So I already had Andorian fleet level phaser dual heavy cannons. So because you have a choice on this ship of disruptor or phaser, I went the phaser path. I was using before that, I don't even have them in here anymore, I was using Undine anti-protons. They do have Undine anti-proton weapons, and they look darn cool. And if you watched my preview of ships to come, I was using them in that preview video. They are really, really cool looking anti-proton weapons. Dual heavy cannons, of course, and you can get turrets. But they're anti-proton. And the only options with this gear set on counter command, ordnance, and all that stuff is either phaser or disruptor. So you're limited to either of those 2 types. You cannot really benefit a lot from anti-proton on this ship, even though there are specific Undine anti-proton weapons. They look cool, and I guess if you could afford good modifiers on them, because they are expensive in the exchange, then they would be all right, but you just wouldn't be getting the most damage out of it, because you cannot, because if you're going to use the counter command gears, it's either phaser or disruptor. It's not going to boost your anti-protons. Now, there are other ways to boost anti-protons, but then that means you won't be using the counter command gear. And the goal with this ship is I wanted to show you all the counter command gear, because that is all Undine. It was made to fight the Undine, and I'm in an Undine ship, so got to do it. So anyway, we are using Advanced Fleet Andorian Dual Heavy Cannons Mark 12, damage times 2, accuracy times 2. And I got 3 of them up front. Then I've got the Enhanced Biomolecular Photon Torpedo Launcher from the gear reputation. Then in the rear, I've got 3 turrets. I'm using, again, Advanced Fleet Andorian Phaser Turrets. And then I have the gear from the reputation, the Heavy Biomolecular Phaser Turret. So it's all phasers. And so, yeah, if you want to use the turret that comes with the gear set, it's either going to be a disruptor turret or a phaser turret. You get to choose, but it's either one. So I went with phaser, so it fits my whole theme here. So this works, and it actually looks really nice. Then, of course, I have everything else that goes with it. I've got the hydrodynamics compensator as part of the command ordnance. That is, again, from the reputation gear. You get +3 engine power, +3 auxiliary, +17.3 targeting system, so it improves weapon accuracy by a lot. And then also an increased flight turn rate on an escort. I mean, that already has a 14 turn rate. That's just going to make it even better for me. I mean, this thing literally can spin around on a dime. It's awesome. Then from surface tension, I have the command multi-conduit energy relay. That gives you more phaser damage, +13.1, more radiation damage, more photon projectile weapon damage, and again, it completes the 4-piece set. So I've got the photon torpedo, I've got the phaser turret, I've got the 2 consoles, hydrodynamics compensator, and then this one from the mission. So that gives us 2, 3, and 4-piece bonuses on top of what all those things individually give us. So the set 2 bonus is a biomolecular instability. There's a +7.5% bonus phaser and disruptor energy weapon damage. So remember, that console was giving me +13.1 phaser damage. Well, with 2 of these things, I'm getting another +7.5% on top of that. Excellent. Then I'm getting a 2% increased chance for the biomolecular weapons to apply their incubation debuffs. That means basically the debuffs blow on the ships and it does more damage faster or more. Heavy biomolecular turret barrage. This is an activatable power, and it upgrades your heavy biomolecular turret to deal damage to foes within 5 kilometers. It applies a biomolecular incubation to all affected targets. I have tried this. I don't really see a big benefit from it, but I will try it again and let you guys see. The real issue is I kill enemies so fast with this setup that something like that I really don't see much, because I'm already killing the enemies before that even gets to do its job. But by having all 4 pieces, I also have another ability, Degenerative Wave Signature. This is energy weapons have a 1% chance to apply a degenerative wave signature to foe for 10 seconds. It's only a 1% chance, but hey, I'll take it. Reduces their whole healing by 50%, disables whole regeneration, removes 1 active heal over time effect, and debuff effect is not stacked. Chance increases, though, to 10% versus Undine. So it's only 1% to everyone else, but it's 10% versus the Undine. So that's the ordnance. That's the counter command ordnance. And I have all 4 pieces and all 4 bonuses from that. Huzzah! Awesome, right? Well, it gets even better. I also have a 4-piece bonus from the deflector, impulse, warp, and shields. Again, counter command gear, but they all have a 2, 3, and 4-piece bonus if you have all 4 of them, which I do. So I've got like 8 freaking bonuses going on here. How cool is that? So the deflector, this is a good deflector. It increases accuracy as well. Remember that other thing also increased accuracy. Well, this also increases accuracy by plus 5%. This improves energy weapon damage. Again, more energy weapon damage. It improves kinetic weapon damage. It improves your ship hit points, which is your health or hull, and it improves your shield hit points, which is your shield capacity. It also resists hold, disable, knock, repel, and slow, and it also improves exotic damage if you're doing those abilities. Impulse engine, plus 5 inertia. This engine will overcome the inertia in fluidic space. So if you do a lot of fluidic space battles, this is the engine you want. It overcomes the fluidic space inertia. Plus 5 defense, that's good for an escort. Plus 16.5 flight speed, plus 19.8 flight turn rate, and like I just said, counters the negative effect on friction in fluidic space. So it fixes that problem. Let's go to the shield first. The shield, again, is a covariant shield, so it's got a very high shield capacity, and that's good for an escort. It's got a low shield regeneration, but that can be increased with other things. Reduces anti-proton damage to shields by 20%. And, of course, remember the Undine are shooting us anti-protons. So that's why you have that damage resist against that. But no plasma damage resist. So the Borg, are doing plasma. So it's not the best shield against the Borg. But it is against the Undine. When hit by directed energy attacks, you have a 2.5 chance to drain 10 weapon power from the attacker. Now the warp core, plus 7.5 additional engine power. So we're getting even more engine power. There was another console that's also giving us engine power. So we got a lot of engine power here. It allows your engine power to exceed 125. More bonus engine power. I mean, that's going to help us really turn fast too. Add 7.5% of your engine power to your weapon power as bonus power. So it will also increase your weapon power. Very important on a escort. 50% reduced cooldown on transwarp. 50% recharge time reduction in slip strength, plus 33 engine power drain resistance. Counters the debuffs on starship movement in fluidic space. Now, because these also have bonuses associated with them, I'm getting even more stuff. This has a set 2 bonus called a biomolecular enhanced defense. This is plus 12 anti-proton damage bonus resistance rating. So it's not saying that it's increasing anti-proton damage. It's increasing my damage resistance rating by plus 12. So that's cool. So again, very good against the Undine. Plus 5 defense added onto the already plus 5 defense we were getting from the deflector. So that's even more defense. Biomolecular fluidic space counterblast. This is, this is an activatable power. This does radiation damage to target, also a negative flight speed to target, destroys fluidic rift puddles. This is the thing that's broken, because it says that it's supposed to destroy fluidic rift puddles. Well, it does not. That's the broken part about it, and Cryptic really needs to get on it, because this stuff's been out since April, and here we are in August, and it's still broken. Come on. And those puddles drive me crazy, by the way. And then a 4-piece bonus, which I also have. Again, you can target. This is a reactive shielding system. I really like this ability. It absorbs damage, and then when it expires, it releases radiation damage. So that's why that console that increases radiation damage is really important for abilities like this, which will do radiation damage. And then I'm also getting more accuracy from the biomolecular enhanced precision, because I have this all on an Undine ship. So plus 3% accuracy on top of all that. Holy crap, you might say. Well, yes, but then notice you also have 5 tactical consoles on top of all that. So you can totally max out whatever energy type you're doing damage. Now, I'm using one of those slots for this console. It is also increasing phaser damage, just not as much as the Fleet version, Fleet Spire version of the console does. But it still is doing something, so I felt that was best. Now, if you wanted to, you could remove something and replace something somewhere else. Like, for example, this is a shield capacitor that I'm using just to give me even more shield capacity. But if you wanted to remove that, which you could on a ship like this, but this console here, you could add another Fleet Spire phaser console or disruptor or whatever to the tactical, and then have all 5 of these just totally maxed out with whatever energy damage you're using. I don't feel as necessary. I feel that I'm doing enough damage right now anyway with just 4 of them plus that console, but you have that option, of course. You can do it however you want. I'm using 1 that gives plus 8% critical severity, actually 2 that give plus 8% critical severity, and then 2 that give plus 1.6% critical chance, because what's critical severity if you're not even doing crits? So you need to increase that critical chance a little bit. And because they're Fleet Spire versions, it's almost 32% phaser damage on each one. And that's a lot, my friends. This is a powerful ship. Now, this is the unique console that comes with the ship. This is the Fluidic Energy Focusing Array. And this, as you can see, there's all the abilities it does. We'll go into space so you can see all the numbers. And I'll show you this ability. It's better if I show you this ability than looking at all that crap. And again, it is also part of a set. If you have the Domias, you also get the Fluidic Conduit Projector, which then gives us Resilient Bioconduits if you have both of those on the ship, which I don't have, but maybe one day I will. Let's look at stations real fast. I'm not even going to go over this a lot because it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm using the Commander Tactical Station for the Commander Tactical Station. Cannon Rapid Fire 3 makes sense. Cannon Scatter Volley 2, Torpedo Spread 2, Tactical Team 1, High Yield Torpedo 3, Attack Pattern Beta 1. Attack patterns are good on an escort. Target Shields, just because I needed something to fill that spot. Emergency Powered Weapons 1, Engineer Team 2, Transfer Shield Strength 3, which I don't even think I may have an icon for that. Or maybe I do, I don't know. Science Team 2 and Hazard Emitters 1, because I don't remember that being on my hotbar. I need to check. Maybe I might be missing an ability I don't have, or didn't have all this time, that I could have had. Anyway, let's beam up to space. No, I do have it there. That was weird. I don't know why I didn't think I didn't have it, but I do. Okay. Anyways, now that we're in space, let's look at our stats really quick. Crew complement 250, crew recovery rate 50%, alive crew right now everybody, power transfer rate 190%. My defense is 46,000 hull. Remember, the hull is 34,500 default. So I've got a pretty good hull going on here at 46,000. That's really high for an escort. This ship can take a beating, and I'm very impressed by it. 134.4 hull repair rate, so we are at least above 100% hull repair rate. My shield strength is at 11,000, not the highest, but it is also not the highest capacity shield. And I do not have a shield modifier, and I've only got 1 shield capacitor. But it still takes a beating and keeps on going. My resists are low. You'll notice 14%. Now the reason anti-proton is boosted because of all that gear stuff, but the reason why my resists are low is because usually I would have an engineering console like the Neutronium console that would give me better resistance to everything. Well, I don't have the engineering console space for that. I decided that I wanted an EPS instead, and then the Borg console. So there's only 2 engineering consoles, so I could not use the Neutronium alloy, which I would have really liked to have. But unfortunately, just wasn't going to happen on this ship. Just not enough room for it console-wise. Well, I guess I could put the Borg down here and sacrifice one of these, or put the Borg here and sacrifice this, and then put it. But again, I just didn't find it necessary to do that, or I haven't yet. Bonus accuracy is at 37, so basically 38%. Crit chance is at 10%. My crit severity is almost 100%. Check that out. My movement, when we go to impulse here, 28 degrees per second. That is no joke, folks. So remember, it's 19 on this thing by default. I mean, 19 is 14. And I'm at 28. Look at that. I can spin around in a circle. That is just incredible. Now if I have other things going like this, just wait. What it does with evasive maneuvers. That's just nuts. Look, I'm going sideways now because I was spinning so fast. So that's a really good turn rate. Basically, I don't have a problem turning in this ship. I can always get where I need to go very quickly. My power levels: 125 power, 71 shield, 67 engine, 46 auxiliary. As you can see, this is what it looks like. Actually, I have the shield effects on. I'll turn the shield effects off, and you can see what it natively looks like is this. We'll go real close. Here's really close. Very good detailing on it, very good patterning. It's a very detailed ship, very organic. It looks really good. Now we'll turn the shield effects on. I like the shield effects of the counter command shield. It makes it look like that, maybe a little more metallic, but I kind of like it. It's got a unique look to it with those shield effects on. This whole area in here is like enhanced with that shield effect. Kind of makes it look really interesting looking, and I don't know how to explain it. It just looks really cool. It's a tiny ship though. If you zoom all the way out, you barely see it. You have to zoom in pretty far to see it. So what you all want to see is my abilities of this ship. What can it do? Well, we can do some things here in space, but we can't do all of them. We'll have to take it into battle for that. And of course we will a little bit later in this video after I show you what it can do. This is the Biomolecular Fluidic Space Counterblast. This is part of the Fluidic Counter Assault. This is because I have the Covariant Shield, the Hyper Impulse Engine, the Hyper Injection Warp Core. All of those gives us that Fluidic Counterblast. This is the thing that's broken. It says it's supposed to destroy fluidic rift puddles. Well, it doesn't. It's broken. It doesn't do that. Now, what it does do otherwise is to target, it gives 3,000 radiation damage and 24.9 DPS. Not high DPS, but it does radiation damage. And other things as well. And this is what it does. We'll do that.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Very big blast. It's an instant blast. It doesn't have to build up or anything. And that is that will do radiation damage to your enemies and then supposedly kill those fluidic puddles. But it doesn't kill the puddles. It broke. It's broken. It needs fixed badly. I'll wait for the timer to go out on it, and then we'll do it again. And I'll zoom out so you can see the radius of the bubble, which is really big. But it is a pretty violent explosion. Okay, this is the Heavy Biomolecular Turret Barrage. This one I can't show you unless we're in battle. And even when we're in battle, you won't really see it much. All it really does is make your turrets, or your one turret, fire faster, pretty much. And I can already do that with Cannon Rapid Fire 3. So to me, it's not a huge benefit. It's supposed to do damage to the foes within 5 km, but I don't really notice that it does more damage. It says it, but I don't know. But if you enable it, that's all it does. It's a weapon effect. This one is the Shield Generator, which I have enabled from the Tier 5 Counter Command reputation from hitting Tier 5. But I can't enable this one unless you're in battle. This is the Reactive Shield System. This is from the Fluidic Counter Assault set, having all that. And I like this one a lot. It absorbs damage for 45 seconds, and on expiration, then it does radiation damage. So you have to wait for it to expire to do the radiation damage, but it will If you're near enemies, it will do damage to them, and it looks like this. So that's a cool, and here's the cool ability about it. It lasts a long time, 45 seconds. So usually these things kind of dissipate or disappear after like 15 seconds, most of these kinds of abilities. But as you can see, this one stands the test of time. I like it because it's active for a very long time. It's active for 45 seconds. How awesome is that? And then when it releases radiation damage, it'll do damage. And the more damage you take, or the more it absorbs while you're in battle, the more damage it does. So watch this here. It'll expire here, and you'll see the radiation damage go from it.
Warning. Ship is under
There you
attack.
go. It's like a wave, a rippling wave of radiation damage. I like that effect. That's very cool. Alright, so that is all that I can show you. I cannot show you the focused fluidic beam also until I get into battle. And it has a 135-degree targeting arc, so it's not terrible. It does 7,308 anti-proton damage times 3. And it does a whole lot of other things too. And you can read them all right there. But I'll show it to you in battle. That's the best way to see it. Alright, let's also show you what my deeps are. I know people like to look at the deeps. I'm not a deeps person, but if you are, here you go. 1549 deeps out of my dual heavy cannons. 2,323 phaser damage out of them. So a lot of phaser damage, and that's being boosted by a lot of things. The turrets are 801 deeps and 600 phaser damage. The heavy one is 784 deeps, and it's got a very high 1177 phaser damage. And the this one does that. That's a torpedo. The kinetic cutting beam also has an 1100 deeps and then a 1300 kinetic damage. So that's what it's doing. Let's go do some stuff with this thing. What do y'all say? I say yes. I'll try to show you all the abilities. This now will just be a demonstration.
Jolan Troop. My security, we have need of your assistance.
This will just be a demonstration of its abilities. Ooh. That's all that this is. No, we'll go here. That's all that this these two battles that we're fixing to do are meant for, is just to demonstrate its abilities to you, so you can see what's going on. Also, I'll show you what traits I'm using. It's for space. I have auxiliary power configuration offense and plus 1.4% all damage, so it's really not a whole lot there. I've got the Omega Graviton amplifier. I have the precision, increasing my critical hit chance, and then this one increasing my critical severity, because this is an escort on a tactical character. Also my personal traits for space, last ditch effort, that's for go down fighting. Warp Theorist to improve power levels, Efficient Captain, Crippling Fire, accuracy penalty inflicted from a critical hit with Crippling Fire, and Accurate to increase my accuracy even more. Okay, let's do this thing. I'm trying to figure out the best way to show you all the abilities. I guess we'll just go through all the abilities one at a time. This one is the Counterblast. Let's go straight up to these people and we'll counterblast them. And you can see what that kind of does. Oh yeah, I was going to zoom out to show you what it does. Here we go.
Warning. Ship
There you
is
go.
under attack.
So it did damage. It does damage. Of course, I guess it's kind of like it builds over time. It's a thing.
Target's shield has
I'll go ahead. We'll do this one. let it build up, and as you can see, it puts a little ring around my ship, and it does protect me as well. I'm not going to... There, it just released. It actually released early. Now, see, it's doing radiation damage on these things. Now, I don't know why it released early, unless...
Right shield's failing. Hull integrity below 75%.
Unless it gets up to like a certain point, and then it has to release. I don't know.
Target shields have failed.
Alright, on the next set of enemies, we'll use the barrage. I'm not even using all my abilities. I can use attack pattern alpha to increase my damage, so just note I'm not even using all my abilities right now. This is not trying to show you how much damage I can do. I'm trying to show you what these abilities look like. Alright, here goes the barrage.
Target shields have failed.
I guess it's just literally it does like a lot of that little green blob, literally just a lot of turret stuff.
4 shields failing. Hull integrity below 75%. Hull integrity below 50%. Target shields have failed.
Alright, on the next set we'll drop the biomolecular shield generator. You can see what that looks like. That's kind of cool. We'll drop it right here. And there you go. I'm inside it now. If I zoom out,
Target's shields have
you'll
failed.
see it's a bubble. And you need to stay inside of it for the effects to
Hull
work.
integrity below 75%.
See, I'm outside of it right now. Gotta stay in it. So it's kind of hard to stay in it, but it's cool.
Target shield has failed.
I just wanted to end that quickly so I can get on to the next round, and then I'll show you the fluidic beam. So again, these abilities, you know, the radiation ones, kind of hard to see the damage that they're doing, but if you use them to the best of their ability, it does help, and especially if you have a lot of ships around you, it does help. They're there, so why not use them? I don't really find that they're a big factor in helping me win a battle, but they are a little bit of a factor. Now, I think that one that can kill fluidic puddles would be a huge benefit. Unfortunately, the killing fluidic puddle part of it is broken. It doesn't work. So the biggest part of it that would make the biggest advantage for me, especially in the Undine battle zone, is the part that's broken on it. So that kind of sucks. I will use the fluidic beam here on the capital ship that we have to take out here first. Or it's not a capital ship, but it's a big ship. And of course, just like any weapon, you want to buff up its power with weapon power. You want to use attack pattern alpha.
Looks like you could use some help.
Because that does more damage. No, actually, I don't need help, Enterprise. In fact, I want you to stay away while I take care of this. And there we go. Ships come in and fire. There we go. I took it out with almost one blast. That's not too bad. I've also noticed the shield effects on my ship when I take damage light up green. So that's a very cool addition.
Target shield has failed.
Yeah, turning around, as you can see, just really fast. Because remember, also attack pattern alpha also increases your flight turn rate. So let's see what it is. No, not now. Let's wait. I want to see what my turn rate is when it's buffed with attack pattern alpha. So 28 degrees per second standard. But then when I hit it with attack pattern alpha, it's got to be a whole lot more. I'm curious to see it myself because I don't know. So there you go, guys. Those are all the powers. I've tried to show you all the powers anyway that are native to the ship and native to the counter command gear. The only one that's native to the ship really is the fluidic beam. And as you saw, it's a really cool thing. You fire it, the other Undine ships come around the ship, focus their fire into one beam, and bam, out comes the big beam. And they used that in a Voyager episode to destroy an entire planet. So in terms of power, it has that kind of capability. However, obviously we're not going to see that in actual gameplay, because the kind of power that could take out a planet would be an op ship. So they're not going to give us that. But hey. Okay, so 41 degrees per second, guys. 41 degrees per second with attack pattern alpha enable. Look at that. I'm turning so fast that I'm like, I might as well be drifting, pretty much, with my ship. That's how fast I'm turning, as I'm drifting with it. All right, so that is very cool. Now I can drop another one of these shield things. I like this ability. The only problem is it's easy to fly outside of the bubble, and then you don't get any of the benefits. You have to be inside the bubble. But I guess you know you're in it because you have these green rings around you, and then if you get outside of the bubble, they go away, I'm assuming. Yep. So, yeah. And then this ability, I'll zoom out. That is a huge blast that one gives. And then this one, I'll also stay zoomed out, and you can see the radius of this blast as well. All these blasts with the Undine ship are pretty big. For a small ship, it has a big blast radius for its weaponry. And I'm putting the fluidic space, beam in that as well. For a small ship, it has big abilities. That's what I noticed with it. And that kind of seems about right for the Undine, because they are that powerful. They can do big things with small things. And that's how I see the Nicor Bio-Warship. Big things with small things. That's my motto for this ship. I'm going with that. 4, 3, 2, 1, blast.
Warning. Ship is under
See, that's a
attack.
pretty big blast for a small ship. Not bad. So there you go. Those are all the abilities that I can show you with this ship. I have another console I could show you. MC Rudolph also gave it to me. It's called a fluidic phase decoupler. This gives you basically a speed increase, a shockwave on expire, and an invisible. It's a really cool console ability, and you can use it on any ship, not just this ship. And it has a cool graphics effect to it, but it's not native to this ship. It's not part of any set for this ship. It's just an extra console that if you get, you can use it on a ship. And it is very cool, but I wanted to make room for these other features right now so I could show you the native abilities of the ship. But until I got those, I did use that, and it helped me get out of some situations with the Undine because it helps you move really fast and get out of fluidic rifts and anomalies really fast, because those fluidic anomalies draw you in. And that's where I love this ability to kill fluidic rift puddles, but it doesn't work, guys. It does not work, and it needs a fix. Okay, so I know this has been a very long introductory video, but I had a lot to go over for the Nicor Bio-Warship. I love this escort. I love it to death. This is one of my favorite escorts in the game, hands down, period. Before it was the Kumari. Now it's this. This is just fun. This thing is fun, and that's how a ship should be. It should be fun to fly. I love it. So stay tuned, and we will do a whole thing of Borg Elite STFs, and then we'll also do the Undine Battle Zone as well. So thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next one.